Okay, so in this video, we're going to continue approximating the area between a function and the x-axis. And we're going to continue with our original example, where we have a parabola y equals 1 minus x squared on the interval from 0 to 1. We'll still use two approximating rectangles, although we saw that we don't get very accurate measure of the area under the curve with only two rectangles. But I'm using two just to make some definitions initially, and then we'll explore how we can get better approximations. So this time we're going to use the midpoint rule to find the height of each rectangle. So since we're still using two rectangles, that's going to be n equals 2. N for us means the number of subdivisions that we divide our interval from 0 to 1. And the width of each interval is going to be 1/2 because we take that to be the length of the interval b minus a divided by the number of pieces. So this is 1 minus 0 over 2, which gives us a width of 1/2 for each rectangle. Now the midpoint rule gives us a way to find the height of each rectangle. So let's define the midpoint rule. And in this rule, we take the height of each rectangle at the midpoint of each subinterval. So let's write that down. So use as the height of each rectangle the function value at the midpoint of each subinterval. So for the first rectangle that has a width of 1/2, the midpoint of the subinterval from 0 to 1/2 is at 1/4. So I'm going to use a rectangle whose height is the function value at 1/4. So I'm sketching that rectangle for my first approximation. So we will find the area of this rectangle. And if we write that down, so let's call this the midpoint rule. Well, the width of the rectangle is 1/2, and the height will be the function value at the midpoint, which was 1/4. And to that, we're going to add the area of the second rectangle. The midpoint between 1/2 and 1 is 3/4. So we're going to take the height at 3/4 to be the function value at 3/4. And so this will be our second approximating rectangle. The width is still 1/2. That has not changed since I'm only using two rectangles, but now the height's going to be f of 3/4, where we evaluate f of 1/2 and f of 3/4 using our original function. So if we continue our calculation here, I'm going to factor out 1/2 from both terms, and so we'll have to find the function value at 1/4 plus the function value at 3/4. So this is going to give us 1/2. So the function value at 1/4, well, the function is 1 minus x squared, and now I'm putting 1/4 in place of x. And to that, we're going to add our function value at 3/4, so that will be 1 minus 3/4 squared. So this becomes 1/2 times 1 minus 1/4 squared is 1/16. And this is going to be 1 minus 3/4 squared is 9/16. So we have 1/2 times 2 minus 9/16. Negative 9/16 minus 1/16 is negative 10/16. Or I can write that as negative 5/8. If I reduce 10/16 to 5/8. So this is going to be 1/2, and 2 is 16/8. So we have 16/8 minus 5/8, which will give us 1/2 times 11/8, which is 11/16, and that's our approximation for the area under the curve. Now, notice in our diagram that, I'm going to do this in blue, we still have some error, right? Here we have an underestimate, here we're overestimating, underestimate, and overestimate, and those are not necessarily equal. In fact, they're not equal. So we still have not gotten the exact area, but we have an approximation using the midpoint rule. As we saw in the previous video, the more rectangles we use, the better the approximation will be. So if I split this into 4 rectangles, that will be a better approximation. 8 rectangles, even better approximation, and so on. And so in the next video, we're going to look at an applet and see what happens when we use more and more rectangles to approximate the area under the curve.